Welcome back to Strawberry Ink, where the facts get messy, but the ink stays permanent. Today, we are headed underground into the tunnels of New York City, where one chokehold sparked a national debate, a courtroom battle, and an emotional fallout that has not ended yet. This is the case of Daniel Penny and the death of Jordan Neely, also a story that describes why it is important to carry pepper spray or stun gun out in public in busy places, especially if you are traveling alone. On May 1st, 2023, former U.S. Marine Daniel Penny, after class, encountered Jordan Neely on a Manhattan subway train. What happened next was captured on phones, debated online, and dissected in legal circles nationwide. Penny, attempting to restrain Neely during what many described as a mental health episode, held him in a chokehold. Neely lost consciousness, was rushed to the Lenox Hill Hospital in Manhattan, and then shortly after was pronounced dead. In the immediate aftermath, the NYPD subway unit did not arrest Daniel. Instead, the officers asked him to follow them to their office. Penny complied, answered questions, and was informed that the incident would be investigated and that detectives will soon be in touch with him. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg Jr. did not let it stop here. He tied Penny to a criminal probe within the state of New York and presented evidence to a grand jury at the New York County Supreme Court. The evidence included Jordan Neely's autopsy describing that he died of suffocation due to Daniel Penny having been on top of him. On May 11th, 2023, that grand jury indicted Daniel Penny on 2 felony counts, second-degree manslaughter, and criminally negligent homicide. By then, Penny hired defense attorney Thomas Kenneth to represent him. In June 2023, DA Bragg officially unsealed the indictment, charging Daniel Penny. The same day, Penny, accompanied by his private lawyer, surrendered to authorities at the NYPD's 5th Precinct building. He was processed there and brought to the New York County Supreme Court, where he was released on bond to await trial. Before Justice Maxwell Wiley, he entered his plea for the charges, not guilty. As legal proceedings began, the city mourned Jordan Neely. On May 19th, Harlem's Bailey's Funeral Home held a public visitation. His funeral mass followed at the Mount Nebo Baptist Church, also in Harlem. He was later buried in the Kensico Cemetery in Valhalla, New York. Fast forward to December 2024. Daniel Penny stood trial at the Manhattan Criminal Court. The nation watched closely, although no cameras were allowed to live stream the trial. Throughout the proceedings, Penny maintained his innocence, claiming he acted out of self-defense and to protect others on the train. The prosecution argued that his actions were excessive and fatal. The jury, consisting of 12 members and backed up by 4 alternates, deliberated intensely. During deliberations, Judge Wiley dismissed the manslaughter charge, citing that the jury was struggling to find a consensus on that count. On December 9th, 2024, the remaining charge of criminal negligence was brought to a final verdict, not guilty. Daniel Penny was now free. He celebrated later that evening at a Manhattan bar and toured around the city to forget about the pressure he had just been through. But the story is not over. In early 2025, Jordan Neely's father filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Daniel Penny. Currently, that civil case is pending. A different courtroom, a different burden of proof, but the same unresolved grief and controversy. One death, one trial, one divided city. Justice is not always unanimous, and in this case, it's far from over. Thank you for listening to Strawberry Ink. Subscribe for more true crime stories that dive deeper than the headlines. And remember, some truths don't come easy, they come inked. Until next time, stay sharp, stay safe, and take care.